Hi there, Mark here. Now, we are actually going to do a new card design which I just started. I've mapped some of it out, and this is basically Queen Maab from the Arthurian legend, King Arthur, and Knights of the Round Table, so forth. What I'm doing at the precise moment is just placing things, and this will all be subject to change as the picture develops. I'm pretty sure the dragon will stay pretty much where it is, but as regards the fairy folk that were the loyal subjects of Queen Maab, we shall see as we develop the picture. So I'm using the usual propelling pencil to get the effects of the fine line. Like I said before, it just saves sharpening pencils. I should be using coloured watercolour pencils, and this time I should probably use some water and brushes to blend in, this particularly on Queen Maab's face, but that will all become apparent as we go along. I also will be using the fine line ink pens to go over and highlight some parts of the picture that I want to stand out from others. This is a relatively new project. I have done greeting cards like this before, but to do a theme and carry it through to several cards is something new. And so far we have 2 free cards in this particular range, but I will share with you at some point. What I will do is I will do a portfolio for you of current work and past work. I tend to do more illustrations and cartoony type characters, so this is a welcome change. Getting the eyes right. I always start with the eyes of my characters. I see the thing, if you can get the eyes of the various creatures, characters that you're going to draw, you can then work out from there. I won't give you tutorials on how to draw faces at this stage, because this really is in the style of sort of a 70s style posters, when you could get Athena posters in most towns. I think possibly you still can. I'm not sure. My days of hanging posters on the walls are long gone. But these make nice cards, and I actually live in the southwest, not far from Glastonbury, so I do craft markets in that particular area where these kind of pictures prove quite popular. And like I said, I'm using watercolor pencils because I find them easier to use initially than going straight in for watercolor. Sometimes I will use ink, and sometimes I will use acrylic paint. Now the thing I like about acrylic obviously is permanent, but that obviously has its downsides, because with watercolour, as I will show you as I go along, you can lift colour if you just use a sponge or a piece of kitchen towel, which is quite a useful thing to be able to do if you want to lighten something. I use it quite a bit when I'm doing eyes, because to get eyes right takes a little practice, and basically looking at your picture. And I stand back quite a bit when I'm actually, especially when I'm doing portraits, I tend to stand back and look, stop and look to make sure, because quite often I'll get an eye lower or higher, or a nose not quite right, so it has to be adjusted. These pictures are fine because I'm using straight from the imagination onto the paper, so we don't have to worry, because there's no body to offend with a likeness. If anybody says that doesn't look like me, they're absolutely right, because it isn't them, because like I said, this is direct from imagination, from my head to the page. If you start off with fainter lines, and these pencils are ideal for that, you can then, if you wish, go over the lines again with a bit more force and almost get the effect of pen and ink. Now, I do use black line pens, but they're a bit unforgiving. If you make a mistake, very difficult to remove. This is where possibly the acrylic paint comes in handy, because you can actually go over the top of most things with acrylics. I'm using the fine line pen now, and this is a 0.005, which is incredibly fine, but it's ideal for doing hair, especially on these smaller pictures. If you're working larger, which I don't tend to do, I tend to do most of my work A4, A3. I just find it easier to manage, and but I always start off lighter and build, as I don't really want to get into a situation where I can't repair something, because although my waste bin gets rather full from time to time, I try and avoid that if I can, because it's a waste of time. Although it's not probably a waste of time, because the thing about it's all practice, and basically art is practice and practice. And if you want to get something right, it just doesn't hurt to do the same subject more than once. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I should be posting part 2 later. This is Mark saying thanks, goodbye, subscribe if you like what I do. Thanks, and bye bye.